Welcome. As always, feel totally free and relaxed, and just breathe easy. We're up to session 10. Well done. You're making solid progress. Keep up the good energy. Today, we return to the mental dimension once more. It's time to work on stretching our mindful muscles. By now, it should be clear why we need to constantly remind ourselves to observe our habits of thought and feeling. If we forget, we automatically sink back into default mode, and the same old troubles appear again. We trap ourselves in the same ruts. Today's session will help to strengthen our mindful center of gravity. Let's get right into it. Get as comfortable as possible, back straight, and begin to settle into a meditative state of mind. Contact your breath again. As we've already learned to do, go right into it, because it is going to help to anchor us in the here and now. Breathe through the nose. Tip of the tongue pressed lightly against the roof of the mouth. Head slightly bowed. Nice and easy. Deep breaths. And let go. Each time you exhale, let go and sink into deep calm. Now, let's begin to stretch our powers of concentration. Turn your beam of awareness inwards again. Examine your headspace. Which thought will come up next? Just notice. Let's try to maintain perfect mindfulness for 10 seconds. If you feel your concentration slip, simply come back to your breath, to your center, and start again. No stress. That was about 10 seconds. What did you experience? Whether your mind went quiet, or even if you had a million thoughts crowding your headspace, the key is to just become more watchful, more alert. There's no need to exert any effort. No need to screw up your face in desperate concentration. Awareness is effortless. All it takes is the intention and the knack for keeping it up. Let's try again. And this time, let's go for 20 seconds. Simply observe what thoughts and feelings arise. Nothing else is necessary. Ready? Begin now. What did you experience this time? Is it getting easier or more difficult? If you're feeling confused or unsure, here's one way to visualize the process. Imagine you're sitting comfortably on the wide shores of eternity, watching your thoughts like distant ships on the horizon. They are far away, sailing peacefully to their own destination. You're not on board the ship. You're comfortable on the sandy beach. Let's practice mindfulness once again. And let's try to stretch it to 30 seconds. Simply detach one part of your mind from your own thoughts. Watch the thoughts and feelings sailing on the horizon. That's 30 seconds. If you are beginning to feel mentally tired, or if you feel a sense of inner resistance to the experience, simply take note of that. Let it go. It's quite normal. There is a deeply ingrained ego energy in each of us that resists the light of pure awareness. We have cultivated that mind ever since we learned to think. And transcending the habit might take a bit of time. There's no reason to judge yourself or to feel like a failure. Gradually, as we build the new habit of awareness, the center of gravity will have more power, pull our minds into a calm, neutral state. Now let's go back to our breathing for a few moments. Allow your mind to explore the sensation of breathing. Sense your whole body as you breathe. The more you can stay in the body, the less random thoughts will bother you. As you go deeply into the breath, remember our goal. We are creating a center of gravity, free from anxious thoughts, free from worries, free from repetitive negative thinking and feeling. Keep coming back to the breath. It is your anchor, your constant reminder. Another way to let go of thoughts is to imagine the thoughts themselves as balloons floating in the sky. The balloons have strings, and so if we want to explore those thoughts, we can pull them into our sphere. If we don't want them to bother us, we simply allow them to float up in the sky. Gone. Let's try to watch our thoughts for a whole minute now. Remember, just relax and don't get involved in the thoughts. Simply lose interest. Did you manage to stay alert the whole time? Even if you got caught up in a train of thought, even if you kept losing focus, please don't be hard on yourself. No judgment at all. relax about the whole thing. It's not an exam. It's important to stay playful and open, and not to get too serious. Try to examine your experience with open curiosity. Mindfulness does not mean that we have to force our minds not to think. That is impossible. We would not be able to function in life. We are simply using thought itself to observe our own ways, our own thinking habits, our own drives and feelings, in a very specific way, in real time. It's not the same thing as psychoanalysis. We need never fight the mind. The mind is a wonderful ally, not the enemy. We simply create enough space between our thoughts and our personal investment in those thoughts. We detach from the idea of me and my personal thought. That deep feeling that clings to the thinking and drives it forward compulsively. We lose interest and the thinking calms down by itself. Normally, each time we have a thought, we instantly analyze that thought to see how it affects us. We pour our egos into the thoughts. They become personal and very, very important to us. For example, say the thought, "I've just tried to practice mindfulness," pops into your head. The tendency is to immediately jump into that idea, boots and all. We think, "I wonder if I was successful. I probably failed. I'm such a loser." Or we might think, "So-and-so really needs this technique. I wonder if I should tell her. She'll probably think I'm crazy." On and on it goes in this way, because we keep feeding the thought with our attention. Each thought carries a judgment, a kind of energy. When we release the hold that these thoughts have on us, on our personal sense of self, then the energy becomes free and available to us to use in better ways. This is particularly important with anxious thinking. Anxious thoughts have a kind of energy that keeps them running in our heads. When we become mindful, the energy is no longer available, and the anxious thoughts calm down. That brings us to the end of today's meditation. Session 19 in this series is all about mindfulness training. Using the instructions from this session, why not practice your power of awareness a little bit more? You can use that track anytime and begin to stretch the amount of time you feel comfortable staying present. Come back to this track anytime you need a reminder. Have a wonderful, mindful, and energy-filled day. Check in tomorrow again. May an inner smile follow you wherever you go.